per Courtney's suggestion, I have a what? Surviving a brain tumor. Today we have Johnathan Smith on, who we got connected with through Anthony Train Johnson through all of our podcast journey. So welcome back to the Love Heals podcast.
The organization is called Love Heals.
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 Love Heals. Love Heals.
No one should have to walk through hardship alone.
Shout out to our season 2 sponsor is Christine Avery with Realty One Group Leading Edge, a trusted realtor and home matchmaker serving Central Virginia, including Lynchburg and Richmond. She helps first-time homebuyers, downsizers, and military families confidently navigate the buying and selling process. Christine is also bilingual and proudly assists Spanish-speaking clients.
You gotta learn how to breathe through that.
The last one I literally breathed over here. Yeah, I got trying to get it. You can move that string wherever if it's or the cord if it's in your way. But yeah, Johnathan, I'm gonna read a little bit of your bio and then we're gonna hop into your story because Johnathan has a really cool story that aligns kind of just with A, what we do, and then B, your mission to kind of share what you've been through and impact other people and in the creative world just really hits all of our boxes. But Johnathan Teflon John Smith is a motivational media creator, community advocate, and brain tumor survivor who uses storytelling to inspire growth and resilience. He's the founder of TeflonJohn.com, which we will link in the description below, and you guys can find everything about him. He has 2 podcast shows, I believe. One is The Art of Renovation. Reinvention. Yep. I can't read.
Renovation. The Art of Renovation.
And then, that's going to be your third one, starting a home rebuild show.
Oh yeah.
Something like that.
Sick. Yeah. And then your newer one that you've launched, which is I Have a What? Surviving a Brain Tumor.
Yep.
And he's got some cool stuff on socials, trying to just get creatives connected and stuff like that. So tell us a little bit about you. What's your background? Where are you from? How'd you get here?
Yeah, so I'm from Lynchburg, born in Germany. My grandfather was in the service, so born in Mannheim.
Okay.
Came over quick, so I don't remember anything about Germany. But yeah, I've been in Lynchburg for a while. Played sports here, went to school here, so Perrymont, Sandusky Middle, played school at EC Glass. Shout out to the Hilltoppers.
I don't know who that is, but yeah, sounds great. Is that EC Glasses?
EC Glass.
There you go.
Hilltoppers. Yeah.
All right.
Y'all from here?
No.
Yeah. No. Yes, you might run into some pioneers.
All right, sick.
A big rivalry. But yeah, so just played sports here. Grew up. Lynchburg is my home. So that's just how I got here. But my grandfather was always traveling. So we moved here from North Carolina. And then that's where I started school.
Where in North Carolina?
I believe it was Fort Bragg.
That's where I'm from.
No way. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
Yeah, a bunch of my cousins were born in Germany. I'm assuming probably where you were born, because also military. And then I was born and raised in Fort Bragg. So
yeah,
that's sick. Yeah.
But I remember some of it though, like the military base and the military stores and the PX and all. So
yeah, the commissary and all that.
Yeah, it was just pretty cool. But I think for my mom and them being younger, they moved all the time. So I don't know if I would have liked that.
I don't know.
Moving all the time.
Yeah. Probably not. Not for a kid.
Nah.
Gotta have that childhood experience. Yeah. Can't have it necessarily on the road. So
yeah, I would love it now if I was podcasting and being able to relocate and everything. Yeah. But as a kid trying to, get your base. Nah.
That's fair.
It's hard to make friends and be a kid when you're moving all the time. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And we just talked about it off camera, but what's your day job?
So my day job, I'm a validation specialist.
Nice.
Right. So I used to work in quality assurance. So basically for anybody that has consumer-based goods, we make sure everything meets standards that it can be sold to the public.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is it stressful?
Yeah. Working in quality is pretty stressful, but I think you got to have an attention to detail. People with anxiety, they would fit in with quality because you're looking for defects. You're looking for things that are wrong. But when things go wrong, like you're set trying to investigate what happened, and you may have if that energy drink, 200,000 cans on hold that can't be shipped until you figure out what happened. And you hear, on the news all the time, this is on recall for product contamination or heavy metals found. That's where that comes from.
Wow. Okay.
So something in the process broke down.
Dang.
So it makes you look at when you buy stuff differently when you work in quality.
Wow.
Yeah.
Does that make the buying process more challenging for you? And is there products we should be
I was about to say, what should we not buy?
be a little careful?
See, we don't make food, but learning about certain things,
They don't make food.
yeah.
They make other things, right?
Because I think if we made it, we probably wouldn't use it. You know,
Fair
what I mean?
enough.
We probably wouldn't eat it. You know, but we're a pretty good facility though.
Cool.
But you have some facilities that are not as good, and you hear like when they get visited by the FDA, they get shut down. Like the Peanut Corporation here that had the issues like a couple years back. Well, it's probably been at least 10 years, but people are dying because they had contaminated peanut butter.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Yeah, you got to look it up.
That's crazy. Yeah. Jeez.
It was crazy.
It's important to we need all the jobs. So that's good. I'm glad you're out there helping make sure things aren't contaminated.
Is that stuff you're doing on like the computer or?
Yeah, so you'll do stuff on the computer. So you'll write a lot of protocols. Some you have a different group that's like inspecting. So if you ever bought a product that's got like a quality approved sticker, that means they, when they make this board, they have certain tests that they do to make sure that it works properly.
Yeah, does it supposed to?
So stuff is done on the computer. You have handwritten reports, handwritten summaries. So it's very detailed.
Okay. And you've been doing that for how many years?
I've been in quality almost 20 years.
Okay. And what were you doing?
Been in validation for a year.
Okay. So newer. And then before that?
Fast food.
Oh, very different.
Yeah, fast food. So I worked Long John's, McDonald's. Used to work in the dish room. Started off at Kroger's. That was my first job. And then I started off working in the kitchen dish room. And then I moved to Centra. That's where I worked as a pot washer.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So one of my things was I always want to get sponsored by Dawn Soap because it works so good.
That's it.
You know what I mean?
So good. Sounds good.
Yeah. So
sweet.
And then from there I moved to Tritech, which it used to be here. We used to make a lot of Bath and Body Works products and such. And then I've been in the consumer good industry ever since.
Cool. Okay. That's pretty cool.
Very different.
Very different. Yeah. Yep. That was very different, but it's cool. That's awesome. Yeah. So question for you then, as if we have some of the background down, you heard about Love Heals through our collaboration with Train.
Yeah, well, I had seen you guys on Facebook.
You'd seen us prior?
Didn't know, so then I seen you guys in a picture with Train. And then me and Train met, so I was kind of putting everything together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
What was the connection point for you that made you want to reach out and get together?
Well, I think I seen, it's like an event that you guys were doing, and I couldn't tell who you were targeting, but I seen someone that looks like they had like a breathing apparatus, like a CPAP or something.
Oh, yeah, Beth.
I sleep with a CPAP machine.
Oh, wow.
And it just kind of stood out because then I was going through what I was like having. I don't know if I was in brain tumor recovery or I was about to have surgery, but I just remember seeing how you guys help people that, may have medical needs and can't afford them. And just seeing how often I'm going back and forth to the doctor, it kind of puts it in different perspective because I've always wanted to help people. Like I used to be a personal trainer. That's what I left out of my background.
Oh, there's another thing.
So,
awesome.
Yeah, and so through that, I've always wanted to help kids with muscular dystrophy because personal training, you're working out for, to be vain and show off your muscles and stuff, but they can't produce muscle.
Right.
So, it kind of lined up with some things that I wanted to actually do. And sometimes where you don't have the capacity, you can link up with people.
100%. That's really cool.
That's awesome. So
absolutely.
The brain tumor is very, very recent. It was as of last year.
Well, 2 years. So March 15th of 2024 is when I had surgery.
Wow.
And then July of 2024 is when I had radiation. So I'm coming up on 2 years next month.
That is...
That's crazy.
You're doing very well.
I had a crazy headache today. It's crazy because I'm still having some complications.
Yeah.
So today was pretty rough. But I'm going to get through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So back us up to the story because we were reading over your stuff a little bit and I saw a lot of your heart is for advocacy and autonomy over your body, understanding your body, being in touch with your body, and then knowing how to speak when other people might be pushing back or not believing. Advocacy comes up a lot in our work when we're out I mean, I was on a phone call today for another woman who had to advocate for her sister because they wanted to give her a medication that was going to cause a stroke. And they said, no, it's going to cause a stroke. And they gave it to her anyway. And lo and behold, it caused a stroke. These are the things that are exhausting. These are the things that people don't always know to do. And so anyway, like walk us through kind of early stages, maybe like what started happening in your body. When was that? And then we can go from there.
Yeah, so I used to have a lot of headaches, right? But you know what's funny about your health is normally you have another condition that could rule out, oh, this is odd, right?
Yeah.
So I have severe allergies. I would have headaches. Oh, it's hay fever, it's the pollen. But I started to have them more frequent, and then they began to get weird. So I would have like pain behind one eye, going back to my ear. So I would have these weird bouts of like, I would wake up in the morning to feel like someone's just squeezing my head. And then my balance was like all jacked up. So like I told you, I played sports since I was a kid. There's no reason why I can't walk in a straight line. And so other people started to notice my symptoms. So, you know, at first you're kind of keeping it to yourself because you're starting to notice I don't feel like myself, right? And then I think my wife seen me fall. Then it was like, oh, it's vertigo.
Next.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. You know, I can see that. So we get that treated. And then as the years go by, headaches become more frequent. And then with the advocacy part, I went to a specialist at the ear, nose, and throat doctor. And this guy was a jerk, right?
Perfect.
And I hate when you're going to a doctor that's not your partner, right?
Yeah.
So your body's telling you these signs or these symptoms, and they're telling you, no, it's not that, right? And so I went back and forth to this guy three or four times over a span of 2 to 3 years. And it got to the point where I took a balance test, failed that. I took hearing tests. He tried to say I had anxiety and TMJ, and that's when my balance was off.
TMJ.
Yeah.
Does TMJ cause balance?
Yeah, so
really?
it does that. Like it messes with your, your ears, your equilibrium.
Okay, that makes sense.
So I'm like, okay, but you're trusting this is the subject matter expert.
Sure.
So make a long story short, I think I failed again. Balance was off, but I was starting to get dizzy. And then I went back, and he, you go in the room and the nurse takes your vitals. Oh, doctor, be in a minute. He didn't break the threshold when he came. Oh, you again. That was the vibe. So then, so then he's having me like second guess because he's like, there's nothing wrong with you. It's all in your head. Literally, it was. But he's like, it's all in your head.
It is all in my head.
Right.
You need to figure that out.
Yeah, and so he tried to put me on some medicine that had all these crazy side effects, but it was for anxiety and depression. I'm like, all right. So I tried that, it just messed my stomach up because that's one of the symptoms. So then I ended up going back. So my wife was like, no, you have to take your own advice. You stay on everyone else about their health. You need to go back. But when I went back, he wasn't there. So I ended up seeing this female doctor. Can't remember her name, but it was so many times. Like she looked at the record and was like, you've been here so many times. We're just going to do an MRI. So at that point, I'm thinking. You
hadn't had any scans or anything. They were just doing
this was just
follow the pen test.
How many years were we at this point?
I think probably 2 or 3.
2 or 3 years.
God.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking 2 to 3 because I remember by the time I seen her, it was approaching the 4th.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now that's where I take fault. I blame me because now, because I went through it, I'm trying to go through it so you won't have to. So that's what I'm telling that in the story. Go to someone else, right? Because I got lucky. And then she calls me. And prior to that, like I told you, I had severe sinuses, allergies. So I'm thinking in my mind they're going to find something because years before that, they put me on allergy injections. This was something non-related. But they noticed I was severely congested. They wanted to go in and clean my tubernets, like the tubes that lead to your sinuses. So I'm thinking that, okay, she's calling me back to say, you're just severely congested and it's just causing some stuffiness that is causing your balance, right? She was like, no, you have a lesion on your brain. So I'm like, this whole time, I wasn't crazy.
Wow.
Because it was getting to the point where you don't want to go back to the doctor. You don't want to keep telling people about it because they're like, well, the doctor said there's nothing wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
So in that moment, you hear you have a lesion. do you feel more relieved that you're not crazy, or do you feel more freaked out that it's a lesion, or what was that feeling like? Because it's a cacophony of emotions.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy. Like, you're happy, but then you're like, huh?
Wait, yeah, you're like, I knew it. Wait a second. What does that mean?
That's where the whole title came from. So I'm like, I have a what?
Yeah.
Because I know what a lesion was, but in my mind, I'm like in disbelief because I have a what? You know what I mean? But I'm trying to process it like, I'm relieved that I'm not crazy, but I'm not happy either that I'm not crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
I would have rather it been something else. And at this point, so my wife had already been diagnosed with a brain tumor.
This is a part of the story I missed.
Yeah.
Fill us in.
Yeah. So 3 years before that, she was having symptoms like in her face, tingling, numbness and all. And so she ended up having what they call a schwannoma.
Okay.
So that's why it didn't really hit us as hard. And she had like gamma knife surgery. So she had flipped it on me like, no, you need to go back.
Okay.
Because they were trying to blame it on the medicine she was taking, right? And so when I went back, that's what kind of pushed the whole, at this time, I guess God opened the door because this guy was on vacation. I see this other doctor. Yeah.
Literally.
So, but it was crazy.
Yeah,
it was crazy because the way everything played out, it played out the way it was supposed to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because the tumor, like the anatomy of it, it was growing, but it was growing down into the brain. But it was like veins and, some vascular structure next to it. So had we waited and it wrapped around, at this point they thought it was like benign grade 1, but it came back to be a grade 2 atypical, which it's not benign, it's not malignant, it's in the middle. Could become malignant.
Okay.
Then that gets weird too.
Yep.
But if we didn't get it all, now we're talking a whole different treatment option.
Yeah.
Right. So had I waited and just kept listening to him, it would have been growing. Like all those headaches were because, like we have 3 seats here. So we try to squeeze 2 more people in here, it's going to get tight.
Yeah.
So your brain has, your cranium still has enough room for your brain. And all of a sudden you got this other person
thing in there.
Yeah.
There's not room.
But it was a crazy situation, but I was just blessed that at that point, I wanted to tell this story at some point, even before I knew I had to have my head cut open, because I think there's a lot of people out there that may have malignant tumors, right? That may have breast cancer or whatever, and they don't know it, but they're going back, like they know something's not
wrong.
right, something's off.
Right, 100%. So that's where you position yourself for advocacy.
Yeah.
Did your wife have a similar issue with the advocacy side, or was it more caught quickly, or how'd that happen?
She didn't. I kind of pushed her.
Okay.
Because at this point, she was having like numbness and tingling. And anything with that is like a neuropathy thing. So you're dealing with your nerves. So I'm like, something was on a nerve somewhere. And then she went back. For me, it was more, I was conflicted between, is he right? There's nothing wrong with me. And I'm just am I going a bit overboard? Am I looking too deep?
Yeah.
And that's why like one of the first episodes, of that podcast about medical gaslighting, because you'll leave feeling like, is he right? Is this all in my head? You know what I mean?
Well, I mean that they went to school for a decade. They're supposed to know.
And you're trusting them, right?
Yeah.
And so with me, I've always had a love for like anything anatomy, medical. So what I try to teach people is do your research, right? Don't go down the Google rabbit hole or the wormhole at night, because I did that and it's scary. But at least when you go into the doctor, become a partner with them. At least do your research, study these medical terms, use Chat, GPT, find someone that you can bring with you to the appointment, because at that point, they're making up the treatment. You know what I mean? You ever been to the vet? You ever took your dog to the vet? That's what it's like. He can't say anything. So you're guessing what's wrong.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think so many people go to the doctor and we're like that. We're not saying anything. We don't know medical terms.
Right.
It's hard to articulate what's wrong with us. And then if they have an agenda with how they practice medicine, we just fall victim to that.
That's kind of screwed.
You know what I mean?
Can you speak more on like agenda when you practice medicine?
Yeah. So I think when people practice medicine, you have philosophies, right? You ever switch doctors? Like one's more conservative, then one's more aggressive.
To be honest, I don't really go to the doctor all that often.
I changed from when I couldn't go to my pediatrician anymore. I went to urgent care. It was a very different
my thing with
it is.
Yeah, my thing with doctors is they just tend to be like, give you it's like, oh, you have this. go home and rest. And I'm like, I'm not paying $400 for you to tell me to go home and rest.
Yeah, actually, that reminded me why I went to the like urgent care. Sorry, I'm trying not to like. Anyways, I had a tattoo removed in college, and it got like the skin got infected, and my arm was like swollen and messed up for like 2 years, and I probably went to, I don't know, 6 different doctors. And all of them were like, here's pills, here's a shot, here's pills, here's a shot, here's something. And about just like throwing meds at me.
Trying to medicate
nothing was fixing it. Yeah. And I was in so much pain. Like every night I would go to sleep in pain. I couldn't wear long sleeves because it was like having an open wound effectively on my arm. And we went to one guy who was this old man, and he saw me and he also gave me some pills, but then he was like, maybe try to going to a dermatologist. And so we went to what was the 7th or 8th doctor, and a dermatologist, and he gave me just like an ointment to put it like a topical something. Fixed it in like a couple weeks. I have scarring, but I was like, huh.
It took that long,
Yeah, it was so much money. It
shouldn't
was so
happen.
many doctors.
And I can tell you, like, so when we finally found out she had, I'm gonna tell you how different the same people in the same area of practice, 2 different areas that we live in, but how drastic treatment options can be. So when she went to her first appointment with the neurosurgeon, right, they wanted to cut her head open, cut it from here to here, and we got to do it now. And it's just this urgent thing. You have to do it. Go to UVA, they're like, no, that's the too delicate part of the brain. We just do non-invasive radiation, and you're set.
Wow, those are very different.
You're less than an hour apart.
Yeah.
Right.
But there's a lot of people that are probably going to this person as a one and only option, or you're not getting a second opinion, and guess what? They're getting their head cut open, dealing with delicate parts of the brain, and then they come out of that surgery, incapacitated, losing some of their, use of their limbs or whatever. And you see that a lot. And I just don't know. I know people have a philosophy of like how I do my job, like validation. I have a certain philosophy, or how you set up your podcast versus me. And I think with medicine, you can get to that because there's no getting to the root cause. You know what I mean? Not saying all doctors are like that.
Yeah.
But if you find a good doctor, it's like finding a good man or woman, you got to stick with them. Because I think now, and it's like so much with the medicine, and people get bonus if you try this medicine or you try this treatment. But I think if you don't know any better, then that's all you know.
Right.
Well, and they rush you. Like, I don't know if this is true, but I recently saw that they're trying to put different lighting in Walmart that activates the part of your brain to make quicker impulse decisions.
Yeah.
So we literally try to get people in situations where they don't have the time to think clearly.
Yep.
So like, do it now. You have to have, because a surgery, I'm assuming, is way more lucrative than having radiation and not having to cut your wife's head open. And you get her in that panic state and you pressure and you rush it, and people make a decision without getting a second opinion or thinking it through.
Yeah. And it's crazy because the cost, I would say, like I was lucky enough to work a job where I have private insurance, right? But I can imagine someone going through the same thing without insurance. Then you wonder, how can people, right, go to 4 different doctors before they are diagnosed with cancer with the same symptoms within a year? Is it because now when I diagnose you, I have to treat you, and I know you don't have the insurance to afford it?
Yeah.
Because I hear that, and I'm like, how do you go to 4 different doctors that practice the same thing? Then this one guy finds it, and the other ones couldn't see it.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
sad because it's like whatever treatment you can afford is
a money
like
game.
it can really control the outcome of your life or the quality of life.
It really, really can.
Which is gross.
And that is, well, I was going to ask that question, and I think you just answered it. But the question was, it's probably both, but is it systemic? Like, I guess, do people know that they're participating in this problem as physicians, as all the, like, or is it, in the healthcare system? And I'm sure there are some that do, but how much do you think it's just the system is set up to run people through it ignorantly, even on the care side, versus like I don't think anybody actually wants to hurt people, but like, I don't know, you would think you'd see it, right? So I don't know. What's your perspective?
I think it's hard because I think if you look at a family doctor versus a specialist, a family doctor could have 1,000 patients. 70% of those patients are probably just getting an annual checkup. And then you may have 30% of that really need care. That's where you got specialists and all this stuff. But I think it's hard because you'll see, like in TikTok and YouTube, as that blows up, you're getting more information now to where, you know, the United States of America is malnourished, right? And some of this stuff you can change your diet, but they give you a pill, right? So you have the, what is that? The GLP-1s and
all of the weight loss drugs.
So if we just started this, and, you know, part of my job being validation. So sometimes before a product hits the market, we've had it on what we call stability for 3 years. And that's how we give it an expiration date. So they've went through like human testing. And I think right now we don't know the outcome of this, but you're medicating someone, affecting their hormonal system, right? And that's how normally cancer forms when you're messing with people's hormones, like steroids, taking too much estrogen. Like the type of tumor I had, meningiomas, there's a link now to women that use Depo-Provera. It's a direct link to where they're thinking about putting that warning on the actual drug.
Wow.
So it gets deep, but it's like, it's kind of hard. It's a hard question to answer because you have some doctors that specialize in educating you. Like the doctor I have now, she's very non-invasive. She doesn't really want to try medicine. She wants to kind of get to the root cause of what's wrong.
That's great, yeah.
But then you have some, they're like, my back hurts. And now they're giving you these narcotics. 2 weeks later, my back hurts. Now you're taking narcotics. 3 weeks later, my back hurts. Now I'm hooked.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And my back still hurts.
And you're not fixed.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and it's, I don't know, it's sad, but it's hard because I think it's all on the person. You know what I mean? But I do know that if you're selling mops and I'm causing the floor to be wet too, I'm gonna get money on both sides. If I'm selling the bullets and the Band-Aids, I'm gonna get money on both sides. So it's really money in the treatment, not the cure.
Yep.
So it just depends on what they're going after. You know what I'm saying? And I know cancer is pretty hard to cure because we all have different genetic markers. So, but I think there could be more money put into research. You know, so that's the one thing I learned through like the having a brain tumor going down to UVA. I would think a school like that would be well established, but they said nationally there's not enough funding for brain tumor research. So that's why you see these universities, like Duke, UVA, John Hopkins, like they specialize in it because they have trials and studies.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Where do you think all the money's going? Because everyone's doing like a fundraiser for cancer research.
It's crazy. I don't know. I think it's the testing is so expensive. Because even when we launch products like for our, like at work, it's expensive to get some of these tests done. So I think the amount of tests you have to do, the different case studies, because your genetic code, your zip code can determine your genetic code. So you may live in an area where you don't have access to fresh produce, or it's a old war zone and it's like radiation in the ground or something, Or you may live in an area where, you have access to fresh produce, it's a lot of trees, fresh air, there's not a lot of power lines. So it just depends, it's kind of hard because your environment can affect it.
It's all connected.
Yeah.
It's all connected.
Yeah.
Very passionate about that. And I want to talk more about that, but just to circle back to your story, because I want to kind of not tie a bow on it, but kind of, so you had all of that, you advocate. Well, you don't even really, you kind of advocate. Your advocacy is you don't stop going, even though they're kind of looking at you like, why are you here again? So then you get their solution. And then after that, what was that journey like into fixing, solving?
Yeah, so this is what I'm gonna get into in like season 2 of the podcast. So
okay, a little teaser.
Like, it's watch and wait, right?
Yeah.
So anybody with like any type of brain tumor or cancer, like sometimes you're in this watch and wait thing where it's like, all right, it's stable now, so we're gonna watch and wait. You'll get an MRI scan. So at that point, we had went to like at least 2 or 3 watch and wait. So I'm getting a scan every 6 months. So I'm like, this is cool. But common sense tells me how young I am. At some point, something was just telling me, at some point, you're going to have to deal with this. It's like a child, right? This tumor is going to grow, and I can feel it. And eventually, the headaches and everything started coming back. They were getting worse. And I remember, because I was on watch and wait for so long, I never looked at an appointment like, oh, I'm going to have to get bad news.
Yeah.
And I remember like it was yesterday. We felt good driving down. I get my MRI chamber. I listen to Kendrick Lamar on Spotify.
Nice.
I go to sleep, snore sometimes, wake up. Then it's a period of time where you're waiting on it to be read. You go back to the doctor. And I remember this time, he turned the actual screen where we could see it. And I was telling him, I was like, tell him about all these headaches you're having. So I'm like, yeah, I'm having a lot of them. Seem to be getting worse, but I'm all right. You know what I mean? But he had a topographical view of the tumor. It looked stable. Once he looked at that sagittal view, the side view was growing down into the brain. So he was like, you need to have surgery. We need to go in and get it.
Yeah.
So at that point, I couldn't process it, but I wanted to cry. You know what I mean? Just to be real with you. But my wife started crying, so I switched, started telling jokes, because I'm like, it just didn't feel
Perfect.
Deflecting.
Yeah, I had
That's
to
what I would
like,
do.
because it just felt like, wow.
Yeah.
Because I didn't, it was watch and wait. That's what I was, expect. I didn't expect. And then now I had to come into the harsh reality. What does this mean? Because like I said, I was going through the Google wormhole, TikTok, searching, trying to learn. I would find the worst brain tumor surgeries like ever.
That's
That's
what not to do. That's what not to do, right?
Yeah. And so I'm talking to the doctor. We're asking him questions. My wife, she comes back to herself, and we just start asking questions like, what does that mean? Because I'm thinking, I'm a podcaster, I make beats and I try to be creative. I don't even know the name of the part of the brain that the tumor's on, which was the parietal lobe.
Okay.
What will that affect, right?
Yeah.
So let's say if I can't speak or, whatever. Yeah. And it was just questions, but he was like, if you wanted a tumor, this is the one you wanted to have.
Oh.
I didn't know what that meant.
Congratulations.
You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know what that meant.
Thank you, doctor.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, huh? Like, but then I got home and did research, like they're glioblastomas, which is the worst, most aggressive form of brain cancer. But at first I kind of took that as like, is that a jab? Like, but now I know what he means.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It was just a surreal moment because I'm like trying to process what I've been going through, and then like, what does surgery mean? But I didn't want to accept that just yet.
Yeah.
And at that point, no one knew but my wife and my mom. So I'm like being around people, and I would just check out mentally.
Yeah, that's
Then I would come back, and I just remember because we were supposed to call back and get a date. So we called back and we picked March. So at that point, we didn't want to tell our kids or anybody because I think this was early November when we found out. So we didn't want to kill anybody's turkey
Christmas
day. You're trying to pass the cranberry sauce, thinking about,
causing
thinking
everyone
about me.
stress.
So it was crazy because, like I said, in my mind, I did not know what would happen. You know what I mean? And so I really be honest with you, like I had a lot of thoughts going on, but I just didn't know what I was in for. And I remember looking up time that people would take to recover. And it's like, you go off the grid, right? You got a job. You know what I'm saying? Like if something happens to me, then what's going to happen to my family, my mom? So I thought about a lot of that. But as we got close, it was just those times of putting on a mask, right? You ever seen Spider-Man, like when he's all banged up? And I feel like my mask would slip sometimes where you can see me like something's not right.
Yeah.
Right.
And people would know that, but I was just like, I don't know, I was just tuned out.
Yeah.
But I was trying to stay busy with work and different things. And then I shut down the whole, as I got closer, shut down my podcast and everything so I can start getting ready mentally, financially, or whatever,
Wow. That's crazy.
So that's like getting close to
Phase 2.
That's crazy.
How long did you have between that conversation with the doctor and the actual start?
So November to March. And it started getting real, I would say January.
I feel like, would you have rather had it taken out sooner? Like, because I feel like I would have just moved through the shop. I would have had months of
anxiety. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so, because in my mind, like I always thought like I could die on the table because there's so many, I guess, crazy, complex complications that could go wrong. Yeah. So I wanted to have time to, just in case, or, I survived surgery and then like I can't move. I'm not the same person. So it was just a lot of stuff I wanted to make sure I did, people I talked to. But it's crazy because I always thought that too, because that waiting period, like when me and Train talked. So the thing with his was he didn't know when his fire was going to happen.
Right, it just happened.
Me, I have a date, so I'm getting close.
You're like, there's the plane.
It's getting closer. Yeah.
As it got closer, it was rough. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. I mean, it's stuff I didn't tell people, but I knew they could tell. The ones that knew, like my wife and mom. And then when I would tell people, finally, it was reliving it all over again.
Yeah. What was that experience like talking to people? When we started Love Heals, part of it was like my friend became cancer after her diagnosis. And people didn't know how. And then the stuff starts getting weird. And what accidentally kept happening was people were reminding her that she was sick instead of, and like, so we always were like, this identity shift is crazy. So how was your experience with that? Like similar or?
Well, I would say I lied to myself so much that when they would react, I'm like, what's wrong with you?
What's your problem?
I mean? It was almost like I'm telling them I have eczema.
Yeah.
Like in my mind, I'm like, what's wrong with you, man? Like you crying with, But I had lied to myself and conditioned myself so much during that time that this is just a tumor. Yeah. Whatever that means.
Yeah.
I'm good. Because I had to do that just to make it
through.
So by the time I would talk to someone outside of my wife and mom that knew, like they would just cry. I'm like, what? You know what I mean? To the point I was becoming delusional.
Wow.
But we told people like maybe 2 to 3 weeks before the surgery.
Yeah.
Because then you're asking me questions I can't answer.
Right.
You're freaking me out. Oh, I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was hard because I think I've always been like the strong one, funny one, or whatever. And I think when you are put in a boat to deal with your fear. So this was one of my worst fears, right? Open heart surgery, brain surgery.
Perfect.
And then I'm looking this in the face at a certain date. And I think one of the most crazy things in life is uncertainty, not knowing what's next. And I think for this, as we got closer, like I didn't know, like I was like, if you die on the table, did you take advantage of every opportunity you had? That answer was no. I didn't. Out of fear, overthinking, thinking what, fearing what people would think. And I remember when I would tell people, I can tell by their reaction, it would bring me back to reality. This is serious. And I just remember like always thinking that like, if you can podcast, if you can't use your voice, like, did you go out on the mission God put you on? Did you use your voice for better or for worse? Motivating or stirring up trouble,
Right.
And did you talk to the people that I wanted you to talk to? But what people didn't know is I had prayed to get over fear, stop thinking about dumb stuff. I prayed for not caring what people think, and God blessed me with a brain tumor.
Ooh.
Not the way I would want it.
Yeah, not your choice.
I mean, honestly, that's your fault for praying.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So,
that is like, crazy.
It's crazy, but that was one of the worst, I think, it was like mental conditioning. So imagine going to the gym, and you're pushing yourself. Like, man, I can't lift this weight. Then you get a spot and you're breaking your muscle down. You're so sore. But that's how I felt. I was so scared, but I was lying to myself at the same time. And my faith would grow a little bit. But what's interesting is my mom's relationship. So I was like, there was this battle of faith and fear going on at the same time. And this is when it gets real because my mom's very spiritual. So my wife knew, my mom knew. So my wife's like the physical comforter, then my mom's the spiritual one. At this point, I wasn't trying to hear any of that because I was scared to death.
Right.
So when she's like, oh, you might get there, you might not have the surgery, God might shrink the tumor and all. But I'm so conflicted because I'm like, if that doesn't happen, I'm devastated.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But
Holding
I
on to
didn't
hope
realize.
loosely, kind of.
Yeah, but I didn't realize that that's the way I should have looked at it. You know what I'm saying? I was just so like scared. Like seriously, I didn't know what. That's all good. I didn't know what fear was until I had this happen.
Wow.
You know, you like fear of getting in front of people, or fear of failing.
Yeah.
This was different.
Yeah, this is your life.
Yeah, it's
but
life or death.
I think me and my mom's tug of war was increasing my faith. You know what I'm saying? So I prayed this prayer, and then now she's just speaking so positive, because I'm like, at one point, I'm like, you know, I'm watching these videos, and this lady was talking about her child having a brain tumor, watching them. So I know how she's feeling, but her faith is, I'm going to speak it until I see it.
Amen.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for me, it was making me face my fears. Because now we got to talk about it.
Yeah.
And at that point, I had mastered putting on the mask, acting like I'm okay. But when she would tell me these things, and you're going to be fine, I didn't think I was going to be fine. So by her saying I was going to be fine, it was a conflicting of like, what was in here? Because I'm like, what if I'm not? I don't want to set my hopes up and then I'm bedridden or something like that.
Yeah, that's hard.
That was an interesting dynamic, but that was very hard. But it was necessary.
Yeah. Your mom sounds like
She sounds
awesome.
great.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, she is.
She spoke life over a situation that she was the strength you needed.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
To uplift and uphold through the Spirit and through words of encouragement, speaking life over people. So
definitely.
that is amazing.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's cool. Were you mad at God? Like, how long did it take you to get to the realization that you're like, I prayed for this?
Yeah, well, that was after surgery.
Like way after? Yeah.
I was like, we good now.
Because leading up to it, like, I just felt numb, right? Because you got so much going on. So, you know, people are like, now people are finding out, they're checking on you. I had to get stuff situated with my job and get stuff at home. I think the best part was like the day before, I got to go to Walmart by myself and pick out little sweatpants and drawers and
Nice.
little t-shirts.
Yeah.
It felt normal.
Yeah. Yeah.
But little did I know, you know, because we had to be there by, I think, 5 a.m, so we left at 3.
Oof.
Oh my gosh.
And I just remember the white lights.
Ooh.
Because we're riding, and then my family surprised me. So they got a van full of, you know, my mom, my uncles, and aunts. That's when it started to set in, because I'm like, this is that serious.
Yeah.
People took off work. But did I answer your question? Was I mad at God?
Yeah. Were you?
No, I was confused though.
Yeah.
There were times where, I'll be honest, like I would fall into pity and like, why? Why me?
Yeah.
Because see, when you have the tumor, it's different. Right? Well, now they gotta cut your head open.
Right.
So now you have no choice but to trust him, because you don't know what's on the other side.
That's the only option. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was the difference too. Like saying you trust God and like having to trust God is two different things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That'll preach. Yeah.
That's something I've been trying to figure out, is like the belief versus knowing is like very different.
Man,
you
it
can
is.
know something and not believe it.
It is different, and I think what I learned through that is everyone's belief looks different. So like my mom's belief and my belief, I could be full of faith at 100%, right? But when you compare it to hers, I may only have 30%. But it's based upon everybody's experience.
Yeah.
Right.
So now when I come out of this, my faith will be up here, where someone else's may be down here now compared to me.
You basically did that thing where you go up the mountain with God and see if he'll provide the sacrifice like Abraham and Isaac. That was crazy. But Abraham's faith went up 12-fold after that experience, because you had to trust. So that's really cool.
Very hard.
Yeah.
Very hard. So what was your first thought when your eyes were opened from
Let me tell you, so
I
had played the mask, the whole Spider-Man deal, and I use that in the podcast. Like, I wore the mask for so long.
I was about to say, you're repping the shirt. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, favorite Marvel character, by the way.
He's up there. Yeah.
I wore the mask for so long, and I told you I become conditioned with everything was all right. I was delusional. So, like, as we were driving up there, it just started, like, the closer we got to Charlottesville, I started to, like, feel antsy, like, real anxious. I'm starting to freak out. But I'm doing it under the mask. You know what I mean? My wife's like, you cool? I'm like, yeah, but I can feel, when you feel yourself like nervous, that nervous energy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, so I started to go to joking and stuff. So when you get in there, they got this it's like the waiting room.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go back. It's like kind of like an urgent care room, but they got your scrubs there and everything you got to put on. So I'm joking. The lady asked me to, take, you got to remove your underwear. I'm like, I don't know you like that. Let's get to know each other first. You know what I mean?
Buy me dinner.
You're like, I'm uncomfortable.
So
So
I'm
I'll
trying
make
to
it
joke because I'm like,
Yeah.
the closer we're getting, I'm starting to really freak out
Yeah.
to the point where I just wanted to like run out the hospital. And I remember the lady said, I was like, so what time will I get rolled back? She was like, 6:45, like on the dot. So from 5 a.m. to about maybe 6:30. So they'll come, you're meeting like the anesthesiologist who's putting the catheter in, you're meeting everyone. So you feel comfortable. And then my wife's there, my mom's there. So I'm cracking jokes. They don't know I'm like losing it on the inside. It was something about when I talked to the surgeon, he was the last person. Now I love him, Ryan Kellogg, I love him. you know. But when he came up, now we're going over all my fears at one time, right? I never wanted to have a seizure. So he's going over stuff we never talked about, stuff I seen on YouTube.
Oh, no.
But he's giving out all
Right
these
before.
complications.
Okay.
And I just broke down crying. I can tell my mom, she started praying, but I can tell it messed my wife up.
Yeah.
Because in their mind, they're like, oh, I thought you was,
Good.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I can, like, I held strong from November to 5 a.m. on March 15th.
Wow.
That's crazy.
And then I can tell it was like, you are scared. Like, it's okay. Let it out. You are scared. Because at that point, I needed to be selfish because I had been strong for them, not worried about me because I don't want to talk about it. So I'm being selfish, right? But at that moment, I just remember like him talking. I can remember hearing my wife doing something and I can just hear everything at once. And I was hearing everything I was afraid of. You could have this, you can have this, you can have a stroke, you can have an aneurysm, you can down the table, And I'm like, it was too much.
Yeah.
And I lost it. And then I remember sitting there, my uncle comes in and I'm just like, this is me before I go back. But I'm like, and I remember they were like, hey, do you want to see your family? So in my mind, I'm like, man, because I really felt death, to be honest with you. You guys are the first people I'm telling this. I just felt like that was it. I just felt like it was weird. And then my man comes back, nice orderly guy. Hey, man, you look like you're a little upset. You want something to ease your mind? Whatever he gave me, I looked like the Scream Mask. Like I had no cares in the world. And yeah, I got rolled back. I think my daughter and everyone was there. And I got rolled back. And I just remember like how organized they were and how comfortable they made me. Because they knew, like the one lady seen me crying and she was just, and then they knew like, okay. But you can tell like they were so professional. They calmed me down. And next thing I know, I wake up in ICU and I couldn't feel anything. Like in my head's numb. It's weird.
Yeah, I can't imagine that.
Very
I can't
weird.
either, yeah.
And then the lady comes over and my surgeon came over and it was like, hey, he showed me a picture of the tumor on his phone. And at this point, I'm tripping off anesthesia and I'm just talking up the side of my head. I had told the lady like everything I ordered from Chick-fil-A and craziness.
You're like, I don't even know why I'm telling you this.
Yeah. So everything's good. And then all of a sudden, and keep in mind, I'm so relaxed. Nurse comes over, it's like, hey, we'll do some cognitive tests. We got to do this every hour on the hour because I'm on like the highest level of ICU. She was like, all right, move your left leg, lift your left leg. Cool. Move your right leg, lift your right. I'm moving it. No, you're not, honey. Lift your right leg. In my brain, I'm lifting, but it was not moved.
Well, okay.
So then we lift your left arm. So I had lost feeling and movement of my right side for like 4 hours.
Okay.
Oh, wow. And then it just came back?
Yeah.
Thank God.
4 hours, like it took a while. So like even when I got it back, I couldn't really use my right hand. But it was so crazy because like I was on so much medicine, I couldn't panic. They were panicking. I can tell like how serious it was.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because I'm laying there like, but it's so much medicine. I'm like, I'm seeing the nurse panic.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I can't move.
You're like, I want a combo number 3 from Chick-fil-A, and you guys are freaking out. Yeah.
But it was a wild situation because once again, it's getting complicated. And I had to trust God because once the medicine started coming down, I woke up. The movement was coming back slowly, but I still couldn't use my right arm.
Okay. Wow.
And then my vision, like my depth perception was off, so I had the tray in front of me, but it was weird. I really couldn't establish how far it was.
Yeah. Interesting.
But it was just like now my baseline starting over. This is stuff I didn't think about. So now where I'm usually depending on myself, I have to lean on my wife and people to help. And now it's like, okay, this is it. Now we're in it. Oddly, there were people on the what they call, I guess, the high level ICU. So I was supposed to be there, then go to a step down unit. Everyone else who had brain surgery, they were out. I was the only one that was awake.
Wow.
Ooh, that's creepy.
Yeah, it's crazy. Because they thought I would at least be on a ventilator or something, maybe for a day. But I bounced back, you know.
That was
and
that
it was
prayer.
Crazy. Yeah, look, so my mom's prayer, right?
Yeah.
Surgery should have lasted 3 hours, the last 45 minutes. No, hour and a half.
Ooh.
That's
I
crazy.
only bled 70 cc's,
Okay.
which is barely like 2 ounces.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is so interesting. Look
It was
at that.
crazy. And then when they came in, I kept seeing my family look at me weird. So I'm thinking, I'm looking like Eddie Monster or Mr. Ed or something.
Yeah.
But it was only like a little bandage, like about this big. The doctor comes, he rips it off. And I had some swelling.
You're like, don't touch me.
But it was like,
Yeah.
That's why I would have been like, why'd y'all only take 45 minutes? Shouldn't you go back in there?
but it was crazy. Like what my mom prayed,
Yeah.
he took care of it.
Wow.
That's really cool.
Because I could imagine them. So they put you on this thing, what I call was a scoreboard. So if you all were down there, they would give you my patient number. And like everyone in the waiting room, you see the number and the status.
I see.
Oh.
So
Going
you
into
can
prep. Yeah.
follow
So in
what's
their
going on.
mind, it was going to be the longest 3 hours ever because the biggest thing is making it out of surgery. You know what I mean? And I guess when they got, it was like, oh, he's out already. Then the doctors, you know, maybe we were able to get all of it and blah, blah, blah.
Wow.
But it was kind of crazy because it goes on to say like, be careful what you pray for because you don't know how you're going to get it. And that's when I found out I was supposed to stay in the hospital 3 days. I walked the next day.
That's crazy.
Yeah, walked the next day. Very slow walk with the physical therapist.
Yeah.
But I remember being in the corner of an ICU because there's like an L. And the nurse like dropped her stuff. It's like, oh, he had brain surgery yesterday.
That's great.
So that,
wild.
you know, I'm already like ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
And, I just noticed how different I felt.
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay, be patient. And I just remember the next day they were like, you can go home. I'm like, man, I gotta sleep first because
I'd be like, please don't send me
Are
home.
we sure?
yeah, every hour on the hour they would wake me up and do those cognitive tests.
Yeah.
So I couldn't get any sleep. So I took a nap, went home.
Wow.
And then there was some complications after that, but it was just a crazy situation and going to recovery that just became a wild process. Couldn't do anything.
Yeah. Jeez.
How long was the recovery process? Because we're talking March of this year, right?
Yeah. So I was like, so I
So
didn't go back
almost
to
a
work
year,
till
yeah.
July.
July.
Yep. So I was out of work for 3 months.
That is
Wow.
not very long
Yeah.
for
So that's what most people are saying. like,
brain surgery.
and so for me to walk, it took me about a month and a half, I think, to start back walking.
I'm sure that felt like forever because you don't know.
Yeah.
When you don't know, it's like tough. But then when you look at it backwards, you're like, a month and a half is actually pretty great for.
And that was like walking, like, you know, doing stuff on my own.
Yeah.
But that's when I think that, I mean, it's crazy to know, you know, people care about you, right? But I think when that happens and like the wedding vows kick in, you know, and like she's taking care of me, her and my daughter. And it just, it was so crazy because I couldn't do anything. Like I couldn't get up to pee without them getting me up because I couldn't walk. I was going to try it, but they was going to lay me out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And just the amount of strength I lost. and I would sleep for like 12 hours. Like having a conversation, like they would tell me, like if you're watching TV or talking, it'll take brain energy. You know, your brain's taking all this energy for you to heal. So I could have a conversation with my wife in the morning when I wake up.
Back to sleep.
And it's like, hey, what time is 8 o'clock?
Wow.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, so I would sleep a lot. And then to watch a television show, it was like, I can tell I was using energy trying to focus. But the recovery process was wild because I went from like podcasting and doing whatever to
Nothing,
literally laying on my back. I couldn't text for a while. Like my wife would take my phone.
Yeah.
And I tried.
Fair.
I was trying to do
She's
too
like,
much
get better. Yeah.
But I couldn't really use my right hand. And I just felt humbled. Not that I was not a humble person, but you reach a different level of being humble when you're taking. I think when things are taken away from you is one thing, but when things are taken away from you that you took for granted.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Got to be grateful for, even this conversation. I'm like, God, thank you for my health and that
it's crazy.
I can walk. Like even just walking is a gift. It's such a gift that we don't think about. Breathing is a gift.
Yeah.
Not everyone can breathe. Like people with fibromyalgia and all that stuff.
It is crazy, man. Like I remember when I was doing the walk, like this lady she was in a bed. She had brain surgery too, but her bed was like crazy. It's like a transformer type of like the stuff they had her hooked to. Like, and I was just like, because my wife is like, did you see? Because when my surgeon was talking to me, he had did another surgery. So then they rolled her in, and I'm like, thank God, because that could be me. Because I was supposed to be, they were trying to prep my family, like, you know, he could come, you know, I could be hooked on a ventilator or tubes, you know, whatever, until. But seeing that none of that stuff, even all my worst fears, didn't happen.
Yeah, that's amazing.
But then as I'm walking, I'm seeing people with no family. Like, there was a couple of patients in there with no family. No one ever came to see them.
That's so sad.
And there's a couple of them in there that they could have been on that unit for a week before they were like, because I was supposed to be in there, then go to step down ICU, and then go to a regular room. God had me up out of there the next day.
Wow.
That's insane.
That is crazy. I'm happy for you, but I'm like very burdened for the people who.
It's crazy. And that's why like I joined so the one thing I want to circle back to is when I was going through that whole diagnosis to surgery path, so I found a support group called the Meningioma Support Group on Facebook. That was the best thing that ever happened.
That's really cool.
Because I can ask people questions that actually go through what's going through what I'm going through. They have the same type of tumor. And what's wild was I seen somebody within one, view of their post, somebody just had surgery, somebody was recovering from surgery, somebody was about to have surgery within like 5 or 6 posts.
That's wild. Yeah, that's cool.
So, because the stuff I was finding was like some, oh my God.
Yeah. TikTok is not the space for looking into that stuff.
But I realized with the type of tumor I have, it's super rare.
Okay.
And so that's why, like with the podcast and stuff, I want to advocate and create some data and information for people.
Yeah, that's great.
With my same type of tumor.
Yeah,
that's
cool.
really helpful to hear other people's perspectives.
So it's not a local support group, is it? It's
just
like
on
a
Facebook.
Nationwide. That's cool.
And you'd be surprised how many people have brain tumors. And I'm like, that. I mean, it was crazy to me because I never thought I would have one.
Right.
Yeah.
And when you go through this thing in your mind and you become acceptance of it and you kind of tuck it away where now you don't realize the significance because you've been wearing this mask until you start talking to people. Because it's some people that have had surgery minor than mine and they lost movement. They lost the ability to speak, their personality changed, like all this stuff.
Yeah.
And I just, realized like, man, I'm blessed.
Right.
Like today,
absolutely.
I was almost going to cancel because like my head was hurting so bad because I went to my checkup. It's my biannual checkup for MRI. And there's something going on with the scar tissue and all. But whatever reason, over the past 2 weeks, I've been having headaches and symptoms all over again. And my head was killing me today. But I'm like, no, I got to get the message out. You know what I mean? But it's just a part of life now where I'm going to have these ups and downs and I got to push through it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for coming down and sharing.
Thank you.
We're glad to help hopefully get the message out to people.
It's so important because the advocacy thing is crazy. I mean, the more that we get into it, and I haven't been in it much, except for when I started doing this, is how sadly widespread the story is of like, I had to advocate for myself because my doctor told me X, Y, and Z. Or how like we don't talk about medical stuff because like you don't want to burden someone else with it. But it's actually a gift to share it because you help so many other people. So
and I think one big misconception is like you're talking up, right? So the doctor's the subject matter expert, but you're the expert of your own body.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like I said, I always compare it to if you took your dog to the vet, you have to be so in tune with your dog to translate that to the vet.
Mm-hmm.
Most people have good insurance, right? They skip their preventative maintenance.
Yeah.
But if you look at the maintenance on their vehicle, they never skip it, right? So what's more important? And then you're bowing down, taking what everyone's saying to you as from the medical profession as gospel. But there's nothing wrong educating yourself, asking the questions. Because like you said, you feel burdened because I'll ask questions, but it was so much I had to learn. Because they'll explain it to you, but a lot of times if you don't have a doctor, they would explain it to you as if you're a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
You leave more confused. Like the one thing I'm still confused on is my grade 2 atypical meningioma. It's not benign, it's not malignant, but I do have a cancer doctor. That can be all confusing, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So then that's something I want to learn to be able to explain to other people. So when they feel like I did, not knowing, like, I'm still confused.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%.
And so that was just one of my main things was I would be selfish if I went through all this and didn't share it. Because it took I didn't know doing the podcast, because this one is not video. It brought up a lot of emotion. You know what I'm saying? Because there was stuff I didn't deal with, never unpacked. Then I'm going back from symptoms to after to now, you know.
It's healing to process because disease, they say, is dis-ease in the body. So
it is, man. And it's so crazy because my grandfather passed while I was recovering. I couldn't really see him the way I wanted to.
That's very sad.
That's horrible.
Yeah, I seen so the week, my first day out the house was on a Saturday. I went and seen him. He was sick. Other times I was FaceTiming him. He died on a Wednesday. I went up there that Monday. Tuesday I was so tired. And I just feel like, all that time I lost. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I just think you have to, like I said, if you feel like you're missing out on something, like you don't want any regrets.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think that when I look at his life, he lived his life, traveled the world to where I was born in Germany. Me, I'm going through dumb fear. It took this brain tumor and surgery to get me out of that.
Wow.
To where I don't second guess being a guest on a podcast, speaking in front of people, doing my thing at work, you know. And I think fear is one of those things where it can keep you from living out your potential. You know what I mean?
Yes. I think so, for sure. There's a lot of we'll probably have to bring you back for some technical things, because I would love to pick your brain on.
Let me know.
We do a part 2 about, because that was some of the setup of the background. We want to point people to where to listen to your story, but covering great things. Your zip code determines your health kind of thing. I think there's a lot of technical that we could get into on just ways to help get your body in check before you have to go that far. Preventative care, getting upstream for some of that stuff. And then even talking about, potential, like what you're talking about with don't let fear steal your purpose from you, or don't let fear. And we kind of, it is silly what you feel fear over.
Oh, yeah.
Rejection. And it's tribal, really, at the end of the day. It goes down to your core. You want to belong, because if you don't belong to the tribe, you're isolated. And if you're isolated, that means death. So it's it really is this physiological feeling that truly does happen in your body.
It's an instinctual, I don't want something to happen to me, to get isolated, be left out of the pack.
100%.
Being in that comfort zone. I think you can't be afraid to be the minority.
100%.
If you look at how many people podcast, we're in a small group, right? So people look at you as and I think sometimes minimize ourselves to make other people feel comfortable around us.
100%.
And I just think there's plenty of opportunities that I look back on. I don't think the opportunities were for me per se, it's for the audience. I'm overthinking it, coming up with ways not to go. And I just remember when that happened, I'm like, I'm going to take advantage of any opportunity I can. Tell my story, use my voice. Because you don't know, like, I never thought that would happen to me.
Right.
And then I'm thinking about episodes I should have recorded. I'm thinking about things that I wanted to do, scripts I wanted to write. Just stuff that I never told anybody. But out of fear, I didn't try.
Well, I love the quote that you're way more likely to regret the things you didn't do than the things that you did.
Yeah.
So if you do it, the worst thing that can happen is that you did it.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. So go do the thing.
Sure, it didn't take off, whatever. That doesn't matter. At least
okay,
you tried.
did it. Now you know it doesn't work. Now you get to try something else.
There's a lot more freedom when you can fail openly and not be afraid of people leaving you. And we've found that freedom this year.
And the more you share about that, the more it empowers other people to feel like they can fail. And you create this community of like failures, but like creating a space for people to fail. Yeah.
And I think if you're around people that they don't make it cool or they don't make you feel comfortable to try new stuff,
they're not the right ones.
Yeah, you gotta look at your environment.
100%. I love that.
Yeah, you gotta look at your environment.
So our vision statement is to build a world where no one walks through hardship alone. What would you say, what would be your message to the people based off your experience of overcoming some of this hardship? What would you say to the people on how to help make that happen?
I would say live life to the fullest. I would say you have to trust your instincts. But I would say more than that, you have to trust God and make sure that everything is aligned. And don't be afraid to fail. Fall forward and put your all into it. Because my main fear was leading up to surgery was if I were to die on that table, would I have used every opportunity, all the potential I had? And the answer was no. And I don't want anyone else to feel like that because you're one shot away from paying your debts. You're one shot away from, that dream that you want. But if you're afraid and using fear as a guise not to do anything, then I would say you've already failed.
Amen. Yeah.
And I just think you have to believe in yourself, believe in God, and just do it. And just say, okay, if I don't get there, this is going to produce a lesson that I'm going to learn to get me somewhere.
Yeah.
Love that message.
Really good.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Is there anything you wanted to touch on that we didn't touch on? And then
no, I think we touched on everything. I think a part 2 would be good.
There's so much more to get into. I'm sure
there's so
that.
much we could talk about, but I think the main thing is just listen to your body, advocate for yourself, and keep talking until someone listens.
Amen.
Amazing. Phenomenal.
I love that. Well, tell people where they can find you.
Yeah.
So you can find me at teflonjohn.com. That's John spelled John. And that'll take you to all my social medias, TikTok, YouTube. You can listen to me on Teflon Radio. It's the app Teflon Radio, one word. So I'm going to be developing some new content for that as well. That's about it. But all my podcasts, the Spotlight Insider, where we highlight businesses, and Art of Reinvention Show. We're having some new episodes coming soon. And then season 2 of I Have a What? Surviving a Brain Tumor. We'll drop that March 15th, which will mark 2 years since I've had surgery.
Incredible.
That's awesome. And we're gonna link all of that in the description below. You'll be able to find everything for Johnathan down there. Thank you guys so much for listening today. Johnathan, thank you so much for coming.
I appreciate you.
Even when you weren't feeling well, this is a phenomenal conversation.
And I think we see you. We see you live, right, in March for Love Heals Live?
Yeah.
Yep. So that'll be exciting.
Oh, yeah.
You'll be joining us right.
And I got to get you guys on my show so we'll set everything up. A lot more crossovers.
Maybe we'll even do a 4-person episode. We'll get trained in
here.
Hey. We'll have to figure out how to shove everybody in. Yeah. Might need some extra cams.
Yeah. Anyways, but thank you guys so much. Last time you wanted to give a little plug for merch, so go ahead and do that really quick.
Oh, if you want to support Love Heals, you can go to weareloveheals.org. We have a merch tab right there. You can buy merch. We got new designs.
No, we don't. That's not true.
We have old designs.
And also,
but they're new to me.
They're
new to you. We have new to you designs.
Thank you to Christine Avery. If you're looking to buy or sell in the Lynchburg, Richmond area, she's your girl, and everything is linked below. Thank you to Liam with Roaring Wind Productions. for producing our podcast, and we'll see you guys next time.